Howdy everyone, I'm that dude over there, and I hope you're ready for the finale of Radiant Dawn using 5 units. Today is the last of the 4 parts, which means that we'll move on to another game after this, if we succeed. But I want to jump right into the action, so let's see if I was able to clear Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn Part 4. So what are we doing now? What do you mean? Well, we have about 15 usable units in a world of stone, and a Senate who's out to destroy everyone here in one way or another. Not to mention, we were enemies up until about 12 to 13 weeks ago. At least of me saying this, and I still want revenge. Okay, but guys, from the sounds of it, we all have one thing in common, right? If we get rid of the Senate, our problems go away. Yeah, but like hell I'm gonna work with this guy. Ditto for me. How do I know this guy's not gonna stab me in the back during all of this? Guys, do you realize the situation we find ourselves in? Not only are the 3 of us here, meaning you saved all of us, but we also are at the finale. Can we just learn to get along and finish this? Put an end to the beef and settle it out here and now and move on? I mean, most of the people who watch this aren't likely to have seen the other parts and are just confused right now. I don't know. How long is this guy gonna be stuck on Pokemon Crystal? Fuck you. Guys! Please! For development. Fine. Everyone gather around. Until we finish this and can go our separate ways, I promise I won't potentially fuck us over. Okay, same. I will work to the best of my abilities to get us to end this. Then it's a deal. So how do we want to split our group? I got a plan. So do I. Alright then, let's get to work. Prologue. Alright, so in our team meeting, we decided to split up to avoid detection of Ashura, on our way to her home. We'll keep in touch with magic glowing rocks that function like walkie-talkies for the time being. On our team, we have Micaiah and the Dawn Brigade, along with Sanaki, Skrimir, Sigrun, and the trio of bird lagoos. Yoon, our deity keeping us alive, switches in and out of Micaiah as they please. So, of course she's going to be the vessel of exposition from this point onward. We'll start this chapter by bringing our boy Leo to his 3rd tier class, Marksman. This map is a route map with respawning enemies. We lose if Sanaki, Soth, or Micaiah die. This chapter I decided to start investigating potential kills I could get with the Lagoo's allies we have. And it turns out, this was the perfect map to do so. With a bunch of enemies holding bows, I was able to get so many allies killed off. Though, I also had my fair share of resets due to poor positioning, and having Ulki or Skrimir attacking a foe. By the end of the chapter, I was able to get Nesala, Ulki, Janaf, and Neluchi killed off. Before the chapter ends, Soth finally promotes into his 3rd tier class assassin and gets Bane. It's all downhill from here. Chapter 1. Alright, so we have Ike and co, accompanied by Nyla, the Lagoo's twins, Heather, and Raphael. While it was his idea to remain in our previous teams, it was my idea to separate the others into teams they're in now. I had a theory about the routes ahead, and based off of what that idiot said, it seems my theory was correct. Each route has a map or 2 that will help us properly kill off the rest of our units. There were plenty of bow wielders to kill off the Herons in the last chapter, and this chapter has armor units to help kill off Leith, Lyre, and Heather. Now, I understand that having Leith and Lyre face off against armor units isn't exactly what we want, but I kind of look at it like this. Leith and Lyre will outspeed them because of their base stats, however they can't deal enough damage to penetrate their thick armor paws. Since they can't do damage, they aren't doing anything that would influence the enemies. In short, it's no different from having a unit wait around for their death. Despite this though, we still have to reset when Leith attacks a non-armored unit, because turns out she can do damage at no level ups. I thought our lose conditions were Ike, Ina, or Raphael dying, but I was surprisingly wrong. About one of these things at least. Ina dies in this chapter and an enemy stands over the camp where Kurth is residing, but we didn't get a game over. Listen, I don't really care about not getting the game over, fun fact as it may be. I just care about the fact that I didn't have to do the chapter again. Like, this chapter, we take the opportunity to level up Ike since he finally promoted thanks to Yoon's power. And thanks to Soren, Ike is practically untouchable, and an unstoppable threat against all the foes we come across. Chapter 2. Alright, I'm up. For our team, we have the Crimean team minus Jeffrey. We also have Kiza, Mordecai, Toronio, Raisin, Tabarn, Renolf, and Lucia. Since Stephanie has 3 cap stats already, our first order of business is to cap her out with bonus experience. After leveling her up to level 20, she maxes out all her stats, except HP, unless her HP cap is 58. Anyway, looking at the skills our units have, I have to fix Alencia because she's gained a new skill since we last used her. Get this shit off me! Ah! After hearing of the events from the past 2 chapters, I can't wait to start killing off our allies in the end. Unlike the other 2 paths, this map has more mages than the other 2. Peleus also joins us this chapter.
Help me!
Long live the king.
By the end of this chapter, we have Tabarn, Alencia, Har, Nephany, and Marcia left alive. What a bloodbath! Chapter 3. Did I ever mention I hate desert maps? There are so many enemy units in this map. There are also useful treasures, characters to get killed off, and the Black Knight who is dedicated to helping us end the map. I think I have to reset once or twice because of either someone dying or Skrimir fighting back. We still can't have Soniki die, so we need to keep her away from the Draco Lords who charge in after the group. Without a doubt, the worst part of this game is the one magic user with the sleep staff. Imagine this, your movement is a low 3 or 4, and the only unit you have to counter this is suddenly put to sleep by a unit from halfway across the map. Not only that, but when they're put to sleep, they're in a precarious situation with soldiers all around them. God, this chapter sucks. At least the Black Knight comes to help us, but that makes things a bit difficult when trying to collect the treasure. Thankfully, we kill off Stefan, who joins this chapter, get some valuables including the Dragon Foe skill, and clear the chapter. Chapter 4. For this chapter, we have collectibles and characters to level up. It would be great if we could get Nyla killed this chapter, but there aren't enough magic foes to warrant bringing Nyla in. If we were to bring Nyla, we run the risk of her killing something, so it's better if we left her behind. However, someone lied about getting Marim killed in part 1, and in my work of getting him and Vika killed off, they accidentally attack a foe, dealing damage. Thankfully for my next attempt, we're able to kill Vika and Marim off and recruit the real protagonist of Radiant Dawn, Oliver, the Keeper of Beauty. If he were to die, all things beautiful would cease to be. I surely hope this man lives for the sake of true beauty. Chapter 5. This chapter is tough, and it's for the opposite reason why compared to chapter 3. Basically, the problem with 3 was not doing enough with the time limit that is the Black Knight. But for this chapter, the longer we're here, the longer we're put in danger of losing units to strong Beast Lagoos. Thankfully, Jeffrey rejoins us, so that's good. And hey, even Vulcan Bastion from Path of Radiance show up. Bastion gets mauled to death from the Lagoos, and Volk, well...
You didn't see that coming.
Luckily, we're able to speedrun the chapter thanks to Har with the most broken weapon in all of Talius, the hand axe. God bless this overpowered Draco Lord. Endgame. Rebirth. Finally, made it back right before the end of the world. I wonder where... Finally, made it before the end of the world. Oh, hey, when did you get here? Alright, I'm gonna ignore that. We're just waiting on the other guy then, right? God, we need to get a better way to identify ourselves. Just referring to us as he or him, or that guy is gonna get real old real fast. So what solution do you propose? Well, I think... Guys, what are you doing? We've been waiting for you for 5 fucking hours. Come on, we have shit to do. Okay, shit like what? Well... Ashura is planning to overwhelm us with forces. Because of that, we can only bring those who are absolutely necessary. How many deployment slots are we allowed? 17, but at least 5 of those are like mandatory units. Alright, who's mandatory? Ike, Micaiah, Soth, Sanaki, Raphael, and Kurth, I believe. You do realize that means we can basically bring everyone into the final maps, right? Oh... All we need to do is figure out the final 5 units we're using for the final map. Alright then, since Ike and Micaiah are mandatory, let's also use Soren and Soth. That way we can ensure the high evasion on our lords. Sounds fair to me. That only leaves 1 spot left. How about we bring Riss or Boyd? Riss provides support and healing, while Boyd can be a great physical bruiser. Maybe, but if we're looking for something like that, we should consider Alencia or Har instead. MT is a free brave weapon that grants additional speed. Meanwhile, Har is just a better Boyd. Either way, these two will come with great movement thanks to their flying utility. Yeah, but Boyd at least has a support with Oscar. We don't have to waste turns building a support with Alencia or Har if we decide to bring them. Hey, wait a minute! You guys already got your picks with Soren and Soth. I should be allowed to pick who gets the final spot on the team. Alright, we already laid out some great options. You okay with letting Small Fry getting the final spot? Sure, like you said, we already brought up the best options. All he has to do is pick between one of those. What's the worst he could— I want to bring Edward. What? Bahar and Boyd are better fighters than Edward. All he has is Astra! Not only that, but Alencia and Riss provide better support options. All Edward has to defend himself is his A support with Leo. We already run an abundance of swords, so there's no need to bring Edward. I don't care. Cause Wrath and Resolve is the best combo, and I like this plucky sword fighter. And since you two agreed that I can have the final spot, I say Edward gets it. Motherfucker. I knew I shouldn't have left this to a Crimean tactician. Whatever, let's actually get into the chapter now. Whatever, it's a route map with 2 bosses, Lacane and Hetzel. Ah, yes, I can't wait to destroy the contract Peleus made with him. Then we have no reason to have beef with you guys. You sent me to the Shadow Realm. Okay, no real beef with you guys. I think the best part about this chapter is killing off Oliver. What? That racist deserves it, and no better place to die than the tower of a deity he worships. No, the legislator of legends, the bureaucrat of beauty, the decider of all things fantastical. How could we let someone like that die? The same way we killed off Sanaki and Raphael. With no regrets, holding on to nothing. Besides, beauty standards in Telius are fucking stupid. We don't even get a playable Largo to kill off. Well, aside from that, at least we cleared the chapter relatively easily. I think we have 1 total reset. And with that, Dane is free. So let's continue on to the next floor. Endgame. Rebirth. Ah, the final battle with the Black Knight. This should be interesting. You would think, but...
You know, I could have an epic final duel with the Black Knight, or I could just use a hammer. Why does that work?
And fuck, man, we don't even get to laugh at Ike's backstory, man. This sucks. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Kind of a dick move on my part. Well, at least we can move on without regret. Get over yourself, man. If you were that interested, you can look up the same scene on YouTube. Jesus Louises. Endgame. Rebirth. Going into this chapter, we're about to fight dragons, so Yoon blesses our weapons to give us +5 in all of our stats. Sadly, she doesn't treat all weapons equally, and she can only enhance weapons that the characters equip. It just means that we have less weapons to enhance for our party to use, and it doesn't help that Soth is basically useless. Yeah, no, normally I would fight you there, but this run has practically opened my third eye to the Soth sucks train. Little damage output and a skill that doesn't even insta-kill but leaves the foe with 1 HP? That's stupid. It doesn't help that our other 2 physical units have to put in the heavy work when fighting, since a majority of the late game units have high resistance. We could have had better units if someone didn't decide to bring Edward. Let's just focus on the Ginsei instead of bickering like children. Yeah, and the Ginsei sucks balls. He's just so powerful. He really shows off that Goldoan King pride by taking damage and dealing out a shitload of it. Would be real nice if we had a second healer right now. Yeah, but we got Wrath and Resolve, so who cares? We are able to beat the Ginsei, but it takes a long time, and a lot of physics staff uses. Endgame. Rebirth. Remember how the final maps had a lot of res-tanking foes? No better example than this chapter. Leiron summons spirits to protect him, and together they all have super high resistance. It also doesn't help that half of our units are all magic units. Oh, and then there's Soth. We have to retry this map due to Leiron, and it's so annoying. But at least Soth does something useful and defeats the man. God damn. And that leads us to the final map. Finally, I'm so glad we're almost done. Alright then, let's do this. For killing this guy! I think we're all fighting for different causes here. Endgame. Rebirth. The final map in Tellius. There is a Soren Ike support here if save data is transferred over, but we really don't care to talk about it since it's just dumb to begin with. Well, I mean, it's not so much dumb, but it's interesting for a character standpoint. I just wish it happened at the base of the tower and not at the top. Regardless, this chapter really makes me appreciate Ike's Nihil skill. He's able to attack Ashura's barrier without suffering from the skills of the barrier. I wish we found out sooner. We could have focused our efforts on Ike destroying the barriers while the rest of the gang dealt with the spirits. I just think it sucks that we have to destroy the barriers before reaching Ashura. Once the barrier is broken, we have to defeat Ashura, and the only way to do that is by having Ike land the final blow. This is because a cutscene is supposed to play where Ike, with Yoon's power, defeats Ashura. If someone else lands the final blow, Ashura regenerates all of her HP and we have to try again. We get Ashura to 36 HP, and Ike is able to kill if he doubles. But unfortunately, the cutscene doesn't trigger and Ike misses his second attack. This little slip up doesn't really mean much for our 5 usable units, but it does cost us. We lose our first, and so far only playable unit, Leo. But his sacrifice wasn't in vain, as we were able to clear the map with Ike 2 turns later. No! The simple sharpshooter! The blonde bow! We have to go back and save the crucial critical sniper! I mean, how can we leave this myth to die? The same way we left the others, with no regret and no usable weapons. And that's the show. I guess we should move on to the final words. Hold on, wait! I want to see who did the most work. The most work? I didn't bring it up last time during Path of Radiance, but at the end of the Tellius games, they rank your units. It comes back in Awakening and Fates, and I love this feature. Let's stick around and see who made top 5. Whatever, I guess it couldn't hurt. Well, this is fucking boring. Shut up and just wait. I'm sorry, but who the fuck remembers Astrid, who fell in chapter 9? Can you just wait like 5 seconds, please? I would, but my fear is that we'll get copyright striked for 5 hours of music, uninterrupted by our dialogue of nothingness. I'm sure we'll be fine, but I also don't want to run the risk either. Then you two talk. I'll tell you when we reach the final 5. So what happens after this? What do you mean? We both know that we exist because of the red fight, and the other one. Well, he just exists in his own separate lane. So what are you saying? I'm saying, where does this leave us? So long as the gauntlet goes on, there's a chance that me and you will see each other again. So what happens then? Are you gonna— It's here! Shop! Alright then, let's see what we've got. No way is Marcia number 5. Well, considering that she was a major unit in part 2, it makes sense that she would be here. Shut up, the next one's coming. Alright, this is bullshit. You mean to tell me that Marcia made it to the top 5, and Ike is only 4th, despite being the best fighter of all 3 armies? Haha, Ike is bad. Guys, it's still going. Alright, I'm going home. Looks like someone's mad that their favorite unit didn't make number 1. Shut up! I'm disappointed.
Yes!
I'm not saying Jill's bad, but considering Har is better, I can only say that he was robbed. Just a darn shame. You know what? I actually respect that Soren is number 1. Yeah. If it wasn't Ike, I'm glad that it was Soren. Fair, and I think soon enough he'll be a legend in Fire Emblem Heroes. Oh, hell no, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Well, we're at the end. You guys got anything you want to say? Yeah. If you liked what you watched, leave a like and let us, or me, know. We put a lot of effort into making these things, so it would be greatly appreciated. So, until next time, stay safe out there.